Hello, WorldCiv106. I want to welcome you to week 2. Here is the week that we are all going to be doing a lot more work, as I mentioned, compared to before. And the reason we have to do that, again, is I want to remind you, this is a late start. We start later than other classes this semester, and we end earlier, but we have to teach all of it in the same semester. So what you'll notice here, when you look at the this week's course objectives in the module, it lines it all up for you to see. But you're going to have basically Mesopotamia that we cover, 2 assignments that are due Thursday, okay, and then you have 3 due on Sunday. And you're noticing I'm only having you do 1 paper, which is on Egypt and not on Mesopotamia. Sometimes I'll give you options, and other times, like, how I want you to always understand what I'm doing is I'm trying to give you all the information that we're covering, but I also don't want to overwhelm you with too much different information, and so sometimes I want to narrow it down to a few things so that at least you can walk away from the week actually feeling like you learned something, because you're going to see, as much as I think that a lot of you will enjoy this class, that it's easy to get overwhelmed with too much information. So remember that you don't need to memorize everything. I'm trying to get you to get exposed to certain information, and later on I think you're going to find out that this information, you're going to hear it come up in other places, and it's going to help you out for later on. So again, I saw some of you also not using works cited or putting dates on your papers. Remember, this is something you have to do. It's non-negotiable. If there's no dates on your Sunday papers, you get zeros, and you'll have reduced points if you're not works cited. So that's something you have to keep in mind about Sunday's papers. And remember, it's just demonstrating that you followed the information that's covered during this week. And I've already graded several papers this Sunday coming in, and most of you are doing it exactly the way I told you. So good job. Try to always get the discussions to be interesting. And again, I want to remind you, some people are trying to contact me writing through Canvas or other ways in the middle of the work week, and they have important questions. Text me. If you're calling or texting me and I'm not responding, make sure that you have the right number, because I do respond to everyone much quicker when you give me a text, because that way at my break I can hurry up, or in the middle of my work I can just hurry up and give a response to you. Okay, so yeah, again, this week it's very important. We're covering the ancient Mesopotamia, meaning ancient Middle East, ancient Iraq, covering this part of the world in a way that you've never conceptualized or understood, I'm sure, or most of you. And looking at ancient Egypt in a very different way. I talk about Egypt from pre-Christian times to Christian times. And you'll notice in the lectures, I don't talk heavily about Christian Egypt. But I do talk about it. You have to watch all the videos. So if you have questions about this and you don't understand, some people try to just watch the beginning of my lectures and then they don't finish it, and then they have a problem with this. So finish it all, and realize that what I'm doing something too is I want to break up this notion in your mind that Egypt was just a land of pharaohs and just the pyramids. And that is something that is a very big passion of mine, is to get us to always break out of these like really oversimplified versions of history that we've been having, that you've been having your whole life. I mean, I point this out, I think, in one of my lectures. We will discuss this later, that Egypt has been the second largest military aid recipient of the U.S. government in modern times. Egypt's military dictatorship, you could call it, government, has been very important and given lots of military aid by the U.S. government for a very long time. And some people criticize that because of the political system that they have there. Well, I'm not going to get into that right now. What I'm pointing out is you probably don't think of Egypt in the modern times very much, or the fact that Egypt has been one of the major centers of producing Arabic-speaking films. Most people who are Arabic-speaking, grow up in the Arab world, no matter where they're from, are aware of the power of, it's like the Hollywood of the Arab world. So, and they've had musicians. Kulthum, maybe later I'll show you as well. One of the largest funerals in modern history was for an Egyptian Arabic-speaking vocalist. But I'm not talking about this time period of Egypt. We're talking about this other time. We're talking about also going from the time of the pharaohs and all of that up until Christianity, and the fact that Egypt had such a strong influence on even Western Christianity in many different ways. So I look forward to you getting a chance to explore that. And again, looking at the fact that you have so many Assyrians in your community in the Central Valley, but you probably don't think about ancient Assyria. And maybe we just think about it in terms of warfare, or the way that the Assyria is talked about in the Bible. Again, we're going to break open that to a little broader understanding of things. And so I think that that's all I have to say for now. If you have any questions on this week's very interesting set of topics, please get a hold of me. Like I said, text me and I'll get back to you at work. And I'll be working from home Wednesday and Thursday.